Hey, hey, hey! You know what time it is. It's time for Magic Monday. I'm reading this great book, The Urban Legend, Master Magician and Showman Ron Urban. There's not too many people that I've known who have really become a legend in the entertainment industry. But Ron Urban is such a person. I worked with him for many years at Gaslight Village in Lake George. He not only produced the ice show, he performed in the ice show, doing magic on ice skates. A feat in itself, it's almost impossible to think of when he produced doves on a small block of ice when he performed every day at Gaslight Village. Well, today that's who we're going to spotlight, Ron Urban. So join me as we look at the life and times of Ron Urban and see a little bit of his performance here today on Magic Monday. In the history of magic, there are legendary people who have made a name for themselves, not only among their fellow performers, but in the entertainment industry. Ron Urban is such a person, a truly successful performer with a travel record that took him around the world. His act was praised and booked in the best venues. As a respected and admired performer and showman, he constantly worked and traveled for over 50 years. His fame can only be attributed to his skill and his showmanship and his business sense. Luckily, he grew up at a time when acts were most sought after, and he performed for kings, a queen, celebrities, worked with celebrities, and performed on tour in many, many places around the world. Ron Urban honed his skills at an early age. He hired an agent and began performing in nightclubs. His first act of acclaim was called Pastels, which he used 15 brightly colored doves, producing a dove from inside a balloon, and then continually performing and producing colorful doves from his bare hands. He toured over the Midwest when he was inducted in the Army in 1958, and later on he performed in the 70s and in the 80s at the White House to perform for President Carter's Christmas party, and again when President Bush was president-elect. Urban has produced shows throughout the United States. Ron Urban is truly a magical legend. His act is one of a kind and never will be repeated again. He truly knew the value of performing for audiences all around the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to present to you the great and astounding Ron Urban.
The next act is quite a unique one. Not only has it played Las Vegas and all over the world, but most recently it had the distinct honor to play the White House. Ladies and gentlemen, there are magicians, there are illusionists, and there are prestidigitators, and then there's Ron Urban. introducing Ron Urban. Ron Urban.
Well, that's Magic Monday for today. Hope to see you again next time. Like to read more, get the urban legends all about Ron Urban's career. Fascinating. We'll see you again next time. Till then, it's your old pal Bobo. Have a good day. Hope to see you again real soon.